Hi, Bookworm buddies. Welcome back to chapters 12 and 13 of Upside Down Magic. As you can see, I'm at my house again today, which means I have pets, which means one of them might appear. So I was actually one's laying right next to me. So if you'd like to meet my dog, Nessa, this is my dog, Nessa. Nessa, say hi. And Izzy is my kitten, and she is currently playing with her ball. So we might hear ding, ding, ding in the background, okay? All right, chapter 12. On Monday, Bax turned into a rock at the beginning of the headstand practice, as usual. It was Nori's turn to take him to Nurse Riley, and as she pushed the wheelbarrow down the hall, she peered into other classrooms. It was the hour of magic study, and the 5th grade flares were roasting marshmallows with their hands. Their classroom smelled delicious. The fuzzy classroom stood in a circle around a large silver unicorn. They were grooming it and feeding it carrots. The 5th grade flyers were levitating 2 feet above the floor, slowly going round in circles. Every now and then, one of them dropped lower and tipped backwards, and the teacher would blow a whistle. Young flyers were called early birds. Most of them weren't able to go higher than 5 feet until high school. Andre was an exception, obviously. Andre could probably soar all the way to the moon if he wanted to, but then what? He wouldn't be able to get back down. Nori walked on. She reached the medical office and said, "We're here," to Bax, even though she wasn't sure he could hear her. "Ah," said Nurse Riley. "Headstand practice again?" Nori passed over the handles of the wheelbarrow. "Can I watch, please?" "Believe me, doll, this is not something you want to see," Nurse Riley said. He shut the door. Nori took a different route, back to Miss Starr's room. The flicker class had a room full of kids staring at a toad that was hopping about on their desks. "Begin," said the teacher. Half the toads were invisible. The other half looked like they were missing various toad body parts. No feet, no face, no middle. It was actually kind of cool, Nori thought. The 5th grade Fluxers were working on kittens. It wasn't a big class, since Fluxers are rare. There was only 10 students. Nori could see that they were trying to add colors to their kitten transformations. 4 were still black, but 5 had white spots, and 1 was successfully calico. "Luciana, stop looking out the window," the teacher chided. "The squirrels aren't your concern. And Alistair, don't scratch the furniture. All of you, remember to keep control of the animal mind." Nori wanted more than anything to join them. When she got back to the classroom, everyone was still doing headstand practice. Soothing music played. Miss Starr stood upright at the center of the carpet. Nori chose a spot beside Elliot. "Elliot," she whispered. "Hey, Elliot." He pretended not to hear her. "Boys and girls, think about this," Miss Starr said. "When you're upside down, the ceiling becomes the floor and the floor becomes the ceiling. Am I right?" "Boring," Marigold said under her breath. "Fine," Miss Starr said, piercing Marigold with her gaze. "But if you want to be the best you can be, this is how." She walked over and devoted herself to coaxing Andre into his proper bat position. "I have a plan for us," Nori whispered to Elliot, "and I know you can hear me, so stop pretending." "You're annoying me again," Elliot said. "It's a good plan," said Nori. "A plan to get us out of Upside Down Magic." Elliot pressed his lips together. "You and I are different from the others in our class," Nori whispered. "We can do magic like normal people if we had just enough practice." Elliot didn't stop her, so Nori went on. "If you can stop freezing things, and I can stick to just regular animals, then we can transfer out of Upside Down Magic. We can go to a normal class." "You skunk sprayed the Sparkies," said Elliot. "I'm sorry. They were my best friends until it happened." "Were they?" Nori wondered. But she didn't want to say this to Elliot. Instead, she said, "You can practice your flare talent, and I'll practice my fluxing. We can help each other." "If I were a regular flare," mused Elliot, "maybe they'd like me again." "We'll work on it," Nori whispered. "You said you and me after school." Elliot rolled out of his wobbly headstand and patted down his curls. "Will Miss Starr let us leave the room? Will Principal Gonzalez?" This was something Nori hadn't considered. "Of course they will," she said. "They have to." "Do they?" "We can leave, can't we?" Nori argued. They waited until the end of the school day. As soon as the other UDM kids left, they approached Miss Starr's desk. "Yes," said Miss Starr, looking confused about why they were still there. She also looked tired, and Nori noticed she was wearing her 4th change of clothes that day. "We just wanted to say that you're a really good teacher," said Nori, "and Andre and Willa and everyone, they're all nice. Right, Elliot?" Elliot blinked. "But Elliot and I, we're not the same as the others in the class, Nori went on. We can do normal magic if we practice. They can't. Is that so? Miss Starr said. Yes, it is. And we want your help. So will you? Will I what? Nori stood up straighter. We want to be tested, please, to see if we can place in a regular 5th grade class. Miss Starr's face fell. Why? Nori felt a pang. She didn't mean to hurt Miss Starr's feeling. Because we don't want to be wonkos, Elliot blurted. I hope no one is using that word here in Dunwhiddle. Miss Starr was frowning. But Elliot heard the tremble in Miss Starr's voice, and if he did, he didn't let on. We just want a chance to be normal, he said. Helping you be normal isn't my job, said Miss Starr. Her expression was earnest. My job is to help you understand what you have and accept it. I'm teaching you how to make the most of your talents. This class is where you belong because you have something unusual to offer. Please, Nori begged. Did you know that in the olden days, unusual powers were prized? Miss Starr continued. Powers like making rainstorms and creating ice, or seeing what no one else could see. Turning into combinations of animals was considered beautiful. They used to think upside-down magic was better than regular magic? Elliot asked. Some people thought it was better, just as now some people think it's worse. And I think it's just part of all the magic that's out there, said Miss Starr. I think Elliot and I can be normal, Nori argued. But what's normal? Miss Starr asked. It was only a century ago that people separated the powers into the 5 Fs, you know. It's a very limited point of view. I believe there's no such thing as normal, and that we all deserve respect, just as we are. And all that was very nice, but Nori wanted to go home to her family. Please let us try, she pleaded again. Miss Starr sighed. You want to test out of my class? Yes, said Nori. Elliot nodded. All right, Miss Starr said at last. If it means that much to you, I'll ask Principal Gonzalez to evaluate you. Nori grinned wide. This time it would be different from the big test. This time she would pass. Chapter 13. Nori and Elliot practiced that afternoon at Nori's house. Aunt Margot gave them cinnamon toast for a snack, but she wasn't happy with their plan to get out of UDM. Oh, please, she said, sinking into a chair at a kitchen table after they explained it all to her. Just be who you are, not who you think you should be. Nori hated the expression on her aunt's face, but it didn't change her mind. We'll be outside practicing, she said. Come on, Elliot, you can bring your toast with you. Aunt Margot's yard was full of vegetable plants and flowers. There was a line of laundry hanging out to dry in the September sun, and a small metal table with some chairs. Nori and Elliot ate and talked. Once we get switched into regular classes, we get trained in all the regular things, Nori explained. Did you know they don't have to do headstands or interpretive dance or group trust exercises? She told Elliot what she'd seen when she peeked into the other classrooms about the Flares marshmallow lessons and the early bird flyers in a circle and the Fluxers working on colored kittens. So they were working on actual skills? He asked. Practical skills? And we will too, Nori said, as soon as we get out of UDM. How do those other teachers teach magic, said Elliot, if they don't do headstands and all of that? They teach magic like Miss Starr teaches math. They explain how it's done, and then the students practice doing it. She slipped a hairband off her wrist and pulled her hair into a ponytail. My father always said that good magic is like a well-trained house pet. No one likes a dog that barks all the time or a cat that scratches the furniture, right? I guess not. So people train their dogs and cats not to do that. That's how it's supposed to be with magic, right? Magic is like a house pet? Father said you have to discipline it. The key to strong magic is to never get emotional. Stay in control like a dog trainer. Yeah, but Miss Starr wants us to feel our feelings, Elliot pointed out, and she wants us to understand our magic, not control it. I know, said Nori, but I don't think she's right. Father says magic is supposed to be kept in a crate, just like you do with a puppy you want to train. And when you let the puppy out, you keep it on a leash, right? Yeah, said Elliot, but I don't think Miss Starr believes in crates or leashes, Nori said, and that's the problem. If magic is a puppy, said Elliot slowly, Miss Starr wants us to love the puppy instead of being its master. Yes, said Nori, she wants us to understand the puppy and connect with the puppy so we don't need a crate or leash. But that won't work for our magic, Elliot points out. If you and I want to be normal, we have to think like your father and control it, don't we? He furrowed his brow. I have to squash down the freeze power and only do flare. And I have to squash down the different animals, said Nori, and only do regular ones. Yeah. For a moment, they were silent. Nori pulled a pencil out of her backpack. Okay, so let's think about control. Say you want to light this pencil on fire without freezing it afterwards. How can you turn off your freezing and only do fire? Can you banish the freezing part of yourself? Maybe? What if you told the freezing part it's a bad puppy? Tell it it's bad, bad puppy. And if it comes out of its crate, it'll get in big trouble. Okay, try. Elliot took a breath. He stared hard at the pencil. It flared briefly and then went out. It didn't freeze, yelled Nori. It didn't freeze, but it went out, said Elliot. I need it to stay lit. It's progress. The bad puppy idea worked. Okay, your turn. Nori worked on Black Kitten. Kitten, kitten, only kitten, she thought. No beaver, no dragon, no anything. That part of my magic is like a bad puppy. It's a very naughty puppy that has to stay in its crate. Her vision blurred, and there she was. A kitten, a lovely kitten, perfectly shaped until... Drat. Nori felt her body change. Her head grew big. Her tail grew thick. She had her kitten body, but she had the head and tail of a goat. A small goat. But definitely a goat. She was a coat. Nori! Elliot shouted, change back, start over. I really should, Nori thought. I should change back and start over. And, ooh, but first I should eat all those vegetable plants. Nori interrupted. Yes, yum, tomato plants, yum, squash plants. What's that? Laundry on the clothesline, yum, yum, socks. Coat Nori didn't understand socks, but she was happy to fill her coat tummy with them. Nori, stop, can you even hear me? Elliot was yelling. Delicious socks. I wonder if there's any shoes around. Coat Nori thought. Oh, look, flowers. Those might be good to eat, too. She opened her mouth to eat some flowers, only to see them freeze solid. Ugh, they're cold. The shock of the frozen flower in her mouth made her turn back to Girl Nori. Oh, Elliot, she wailed. Why can't I do it? Why can't I get something right just once? You're not the only one who messed up, Elliot said. I meant to freeze a single flower, just to make you stop. But look, I froze all of them. As soon as I got scared, I lost control and I ruined everything. Nori looked at Margot's flowers, or what used to be her flowers. Now they were all flower-shaped icicles, and the vegetables were eaten, and the socks. Nori sighed. We need a lot more practice, she said. And your aunt, Elliot noted glumly, needs a new rose bush. All right, friends, I'll see you tomorrow.